Hey learners, welcome to lesson 2.3. Today we are going to be gathering some additional evidence from models in order to better understand our question, how can we search for evidence of other planets having habitability? So our chapter 2 question, just a reminder, is how can we gather more evidence about whether lava or water formed the channel on Mars? And we are going to investigate that today by looking at our flowing water model a little bit deeper, and also we are going to be looking at our flowing lava model. So we know that our flowing water model helped us gather evidence about what formed the channel. So we may have seen some evidence that the channel was there and that we observed the channel after the water stopped. Hopefully you saw that, and if you didn't, we'll be watching a video here in just a few minutes to observe that a little bit more. So after the water stopped, the water remained, or the channel remained, sorry. Our key concept is that models represent the natural process being investigated in important ways, but they are not exactly the same. So when we have a model, it helps us understand a natural process, but it does not necessarily mean it is the exact same as the natural process that's happening in real life. I just want you to think about for a second, how do you think the steepness of a hill might affect the channel that is formed by the water? So had we and maybe some of us tried this, or maybe some of us didn't, but if we had made that slope steeper, if we would have raised it up a little bit, how would that have changed how the channel would have formed, and how would that change what the channel looks like? All right, we are going to watch this short little clip now and see what happens when we change the steepness of a slope. So you can see that the sand table on the right is the one that has the steeper slope, so they lifted it up, the back end of it up a little bit. And you might notice that there are some things happening in right here and then over here as the water is added, and on the left this is just the regular flat one, and the channel kind of forms a little bit different. So we can see that there are some very different things happening in these two models that allow us to better understand what happens when we change the steepness of a slope. All right, so I just want you to think for a moment, what did you observe when that idea was tested? And now we are going to observe a flowing lava model. So we're going to kind of transition into our next model and look and see what happens when we have flowing lava, or when we can represent flowing lava here on Earth. So we've been focusing on that first claim, how can flowing water formed the channel on Mars, and now we're going to look at that second claim, flowing lava, and hopefully you'll have a better idea of which claim you think is better supported with evidence based on what you know and what you're seeing in each of these models. So in the model, we used real water to represent the hydrosphere and water in our natural world, but we don't have lava and we can't really use lava to represent lava. So we are going to use, in the video, they're going to use melted wax, or they're going to use wax, and that's going to represent our lava. They have very similar properties, and we can use it because they have similar properties, we can use that as a way to study our landforms and to look at different features that can happen when there is a flowing lava. So it's just going to help us better understand the process and the effects that lava can have on our natural environment in a way that's a little bit different than the water. So let's take a look at this video now.
This is a tilted tub of sand that represents a sloped hill. In a moment, hot wax will pour from the blue water bottle to model a lava flow. Wax can substitute for lava because both are thick, melted substances that harden as they cool. By observing this model, we can learn about a landform flowing lava might make. While the model is running, try to make careful observations.
So this sand table is at a slant, a little bit of a slant, and they're adding the lava, and we can see that the lava, or the wax, is representing this lava, and we can observe what's happening as this thicker, more dense substance is moving through the sand or moving through our geosphere differently than when our water moved through the geosphere. So just want you to make some observations as you watch this about what you think is happening, what you see happening in this video, and how it's different, and compare and contrast, like how it's different and how it's similar to the flowing water model. Which one of these looks more similar to the channel on Mars? All right. You can always rewatch that by going back and watching this video again. And so now I want you to think about what do you think that the flowing lava model could have formed that channel on Mars? Or are you still pretty confident that it was the flowing water? If you think that flowing lava model, if you think that that video was a good representation and kind of showed what the model, the flowing channel on Mars looked like, do you think that you have enough evidence to support that? Do you think that you could come up with some reasoning to go with that claim? And how is the flowing lava model similar or different than the actual geological process of flowing lava on Earth? So think about how you think it looks similar, how you think it might look different, and remember all those evidence cards if you look at those geological process pictures and things like that. Do you think that this model is a good representation? Are they looking similar, or are they looking really different? And maybe this isn't the best model to use. As you think about these things, I hope that you enjoy moving on in the process of looking at these claims, coming up with evidence, and then eventually coming to some reasoning. And I hope that you enjoy this next part of the lesson. Happy learning. Remember, today is a great day to learn.